Hey everybody, what's going on? Mr. Tony of the Dead here, and I have another movie review for everybody out there. This one's on a movie called Sheborg. This is from Wild Eye Releasing, and it's written and directed by Daniel Armstrong. Sheborg is about an alien fugitive that crash lands on Earth and starts turning people into cyborgs that feed on animal flesh. So now Rebel without a clue Dylan and her friend Eddie have to try and stop the Sheborg before she assimilates everybody in town and then the rest of the world. Alright, so this movie was a fun ride. It was a fun ride. It looks really cool in the trailer. I had a fun time watching this. It has a lot of blood, a lot of really cool special effects, a lot of cheesy special effects, to be honest. But even though they were cheesy, I didn't really mind it. Like, it was obvious green screen or obvious, fake blood. It kind of went with the whole vibe of the movie. It kind of like went with the whole moment. In fact, when I started watching this, I thought that the Sheborg was actually a good person, like a good cyborg, and when she crash landed on Earth, I thought it was going to be befriended by, the locals, and then somebody was going to come down to try and stop them. Then they had to join with her to stop the bad guys. But no, it's not like that at all. She is the bad guy. Right off the bat, you know that she is bad because the first thing you see is her trying to be arrested and, put in imprisonment. And it just like, it took me for a loop there. I was like, wow, I wasn't expecting it. I thought she might be, good and misunderstood and everything. And it wasn't like that at all, which actually was a good change because, in a way, it was like, it reminded you of like Terminator. It had a little bit of like Dead Alive in there because it's very bloody and disgusting, but it also has a lot of green goop because they're aliens, and there's a lot of really good music in here. And also this is Australian, so right there off the bat you know that it's going to be a good movie, which I should have known right away because pretty much everything that comes out of Australia is good, except for the spiders and things that fall off of trees that could crush your skull. Some things I didn't like is the repetitiveness of the cyborgs getting up and not being defeated, which, I could see maybe them coming back later on, but they just got up too quickly, and there was a lot of, especially with this like mad scientist kind of doctor, she kind of got a little on my nerves. She is probably the most annoying person in the movie, her character, and I couldn't really stand when she was on screen. I wish she would have just like been deprogrammed, from the start. She also had a lot of one-liners or a lot of threatening lines, and it's like she just kept getting her ass kicked. It's just like, just stop already. The main character, Dylan, one of the main characters I should say, she at first got on my nerves too because it's one of those like rebel without a cause. She's born in a with a silver spoon in her mouth. Her father is in politics, and she has money, but she's one of those rebellious kind of girls, and so everything is like I'm against it, but she doesn't know why. And that kind of gets on my nerves at first because it's like, why are you being such a jerk to this guy when he's just being nice, or your friend's flirting with this guy? Why are you being such a cock block? But she kind of grows on you. She's fun, she's energetic, and she just meshes very well. Is that the right word? With her friend Eddie, they have a chemistry. And Eddie kind of seems very bubbly at first, and she doesn't seem like she would. I'm not saying she doesn't want to seem like she adds anything to it, but she just seems like one of those characters you've seen before, where they're just dumb and they're just kind of like oh, like a weapon. Oh, how's this gonna fire? Kind of one of those people. But she kicks ass. She comes out. I know kung fu, even though she does a crane kick, which is clearly karate. But she added a lot to the character as well of Eddie, and I thought she was a fun time. I think those two worked well together, and I don't think they would have done well separately in the movie. It's also great when Eddie doesn't want to take any more of Dylan's shit, and they have a fight, and she just like starts kicking the shit out of Dylan, and then Dylan gives it back to her, and it's just like very well choreographed fighting scenes, and they do have, like, you know, fight rehearsals, and then they add a little bit of their own to it while they're fighting, of course. But and it's all in like the behind the scenes thing on here and the special features and that. It's like it's pretty cool, like the interviews and that, like they talked to him about all this stuff. But everybody like did a good job into this movie. The Sheborg outfit looked pretty cool. I found out that it was made from foam and plastic, and looks pretty cool. I do think that looked really cool. Foam and plastic, you know, it doesn't look foam and plastic to me. It looks like it could be metalish. Looked really cool. They did a really good job with that. Also, this movie had like no budget. The director, who also wrote the movie as well, he took it all out of pocket. So whatever he earned, because he has a job, whatever he earned, that's the budget. That's what they went off of. So he had to do a lot of, would you work for free, would you work for free, and everybody pretty much worked for free on the set, and with the hopes of maybe one day they'd get paid, but knowing they probably wouldn't. And you know, that's another cool thing. That's dedication. Like, you know what, I just want to help get this movie made. It's a credit to them too. You know, that's going to be in their resume. You know, I helped make this movie. And you know, this movie does show a lot of the special effects. Again, like there's a lot of like bad special effects as well. I'm not gonna lie. It's cheesy. This kind of reminds me of something that should be on the Sci-Fi Channel, but it seems like this had more of a budget than most of them that are on there. I mean, most of them on there don't look like they have a budget, but this looks like they had a decent amount of budget, that with the special effects, the scenes, the settings, you know, it just seems like things couldn't be that cheap. But I mean, I don't know. They never gave a price of how much they spent, but it couldn't have been cheap, and especially out of pocket. You know, you got to give some credit to the director for you know, out of pocket. Like that's ballsy. And like I said, there is a lot of fighting in this movie, a lot of fight scenes, and the music that is along with the fight scenes fit perfectly. This is a really good soundtrack, to be honest. A lot of stuff, a lot of Australian bands that I've never even heard of. In fact, the one band that's in this was apparently in the director's other movies that he did, and they're in this movie, and they are on stage in the movie, and they end up getting turned into, you know, cyborgs as well later on. And you know, it's pretty cool when they do that as well. And then there's another guy, what's his name, Kid Crusher. He even has a small part in this in the very beginning. He's one of the, I can't think what they're called, the Thrills or Trills or something like that, like this other race that's trying to stop the Sheborg from taking over, because Sheborg is like, it's basically like a metal, like the metal itself is kind of alive and attaches onto the person and, you know, takes over them. So it's not really exactly like the Borg on Star Trek, you know. This is, it's different. It's like the metal that's alive, and it's pretty cool. And it's cool that I didn't know that they were going to get assimilated either. Like, I thought it was just her going around and killing and whatever. I didn't know that she was going to assimilate people. And so that made it cool that like there was actually other cyborgs around, and they still kind of had their own personalities, their old personalities, except now they had this need to eat flesh and kill. it was and there's no reasoning with them either. So it was kind of cool, and it has a comedy side to it, a comical side to it, which I think maybe there's a little bit too much of. I think I'm fine with, you know, some comedy to a movie, you know, a horror movie or whatever. It's not really even a horror movie, it's a sci-fi movie. It's not horror at all. But I don't mind some comedy to it, but there's a line where it's too much, and I think maybe there was a little bit too much at times with this, but I can see past it because it makes up for it with all the action, the choreography of the fight scenes, and you know, likable characters. I always say that in every review. Likable characters. There are likable characters. There are people, like I said, that I don't like. Mainly that nurse or doctor, whatever she is. I could care. I don't care for her. Nothing against her, but I don't like her character. I don't like it at all. Very annoying. Very, very annoying. And so, you know, now I'm going to show you this a little bit closer up on here. Now this is the cover here, and that is a really, really cool cover. That is awesome. And somebody did ask, is this the same people that did Manborg? And it is not. Manborg is totally different, and Sheborg is not related to it at all. This is really, really an awesome cover. This is a cover I would honestly, I wish came with a poster. I wish this came with a fucking poster. I would put this on the wall. I think this is the kind of artwork from back, like you would see back in the day, that would make you want to watch this movie, and you know, regardless if the movie's bad or not. And they don't have a poster for it, which I'm sure maybe there's one out there, but there's not one in it, which would have been awesome. And here on the inside you have the Blu-ray. There's no DVD, just the Blu-ray, and it is region A, B, and C, and it does have the artwork from the cover on here, which is nice. I always like some artwork on the Blu-ray. And on the back here you just have some imagery, you know, who's in the movie and all that stuff. Not too many bonus features. Like I said, there is the behind the scenes, and then there's a music video. And you know, it's not much on here, but it is a very good behind the scenes, and the video is pretty cool. So, but don't watch the video before you see the movie, because it's very spoiler heavy. The movie was actually going to be called Puppy Farm Massacre, I believe, beforehand, and then it was called Sheborg Puppy Farm Massacre, and people freaked out because they thought they were going to be killing puppies, which they were, and they do kill puppies in this, but you don't see it, and they look like stuffed animals at times, so it doesn't really, you know, it doesn't affect anything. So then it was called Sheborg Massacre, and then just shortened to Sheborg. So I guess really it depends on where you are. You know, here I guess it's Sheborg. Australia, it might be Sheborg Massacre. I like Sheborg Massacre, to be honest. But yeah, I was really nervous about this, because nothing against independent movies, because, you know, you gotta try, you gotta start somewhere, but a lot of times when people try to do a sci-fi or even an action adventure movie, when you're doing, like, you know, when you're low budget, it's just kind of bad. And you know, it's like obviously low budget, but I had a lot of fun watching this, and I'm glad I got to see it. I would definitely watch this again. A lot of fun. Very, very gross and bloody and disgusting, and very goopy. Green goop. I like it. And you know, it's pretty cool, and I'm hoping they make a sequel someday. That would be awesome. And you know, I think everybody in this movie did a fantastic job, and I think seeing the behind the scenes and everything, seeing the crew, how they all work together well, and you know, everything, I just think if that crew could come together and make another movie, I think we're in good hands. So yep, that's it, everybody. Thanks for watching. Give this video a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, follow me on any one of the social media links in the description box below, and if you're interested in getting this movie, I'll put a link below in the description box. Also, I'll put the trailer for this, but proceed with caution, there may be spoilers. That's everybody. Thanks for watching. Talk to you later. Bye.